Good morning, Vani. Good morning, Tejaswi. Yes, Siri. Good morning, beta. Good morning. Good morning, Sai Shraddha. Yes, good morning, Pawan Kalyan. Good morning, Santosh. Yes. So, how is your study going on? Good morning, Charitha. Deepak, good morning. Satvika, good morning. Yes, good morning, Rahul. Mansa, good morning, beta. Yes. So, how is your study going on? Yes, good morning. Okay, that's great. Good morning, Chatur Teja. Okay, great. So now you guys are able to balance the redox reaction, right? In any medium. You need to practice beta. If you practice it, you can be better than me also, right? This is just a method, and you can solve different type of questions. And some of the difficult question for balancing we will do in the while we will understand the concept of equivalent, right? Then we will be able to solve those questions also, the difficult one questions. We have already done one in the previous class, I2 wala, iodine disproportionating into I minus and IO3 minus. That was one nice question. So any doubt from previous class or from the assignment that I have provided to you? Yes, quickly respond. If you are having any doubt, you want me to explain anything which we have studied till now. Yes, tell me quickly. Any doubt? Or shall I start with the next concept, equivalent concept? Yeah, good morning, Yashwant. Do you want me to repeat anything? Yes, good morning, Ashish. Vani, you can start. Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, good morning, Triveni. Yes. Yeah, Ramesh, good morning. So the next concept is very useful. Okay. Actually, this concept is very much related to mole concept only, right? So, so to understand this concept, we have learned many things. like oxidation number. So oxidation number will be used in this concept also. This is equivalent concept. Till now we have learned something is given, weight is given. We can calculate mole, right? We can calculate mole. Acha, Ankita. Okay. If any reaction is given, beta, oxidation half. This is a reaction in which oxidation is taking place. It means oxidation is taking place. With the modern terms, we understand that oxidation number of the reactant will be increasing. Oxidation number of any element present in the reactant will be increasing, right? Something like this. Or it will be, the reaction will be written with the loss of electrons. In this case, loss of electron will be taking place. This is how we understand from any oxidation reaction, right? Any oxidation reaction will look like this only, right? If I like Sn plus 2, it's converting into Sn plus 4. So you need to see that oxidation number is increasing. On the other hand, for reduction half beta, oxidation number of element will be decreasing, right? Sometimes they might give you ions in which only one element is present. Sometimes there may be more than one element. So you need to, with the practice, you will come that which element is undergoing decrease in oxidation number. So this will come with the practice, right? So in this case, something like this, B plus Y, and in this case, gain of electron, right? If you see gain of electron, this is how we write reduction half reaction. Any example is MnO4 minus taking electron in OH minus, basic medium, and getting converted into MnO4 minus 2. So this is an example of reduction half. In this case, if you see, earlier it was plus 7, now it has become plus 6. So decrease in oxidation number has taken place. Ankita? Yes, Goli, good morning. Is that okay, beta? You need to identify the element which is undergoing change in oxidation number. If change in oxidation number is increasing, then that will be part of oxidation half. If it is decreasing, then that will be part of reduction half. Yes, tell me. So this was okay. If you are having any other doubt, then you can also ask me on Telegram. Okay, I will help you there. Get a difference. See, electrons are on the product side. Electrons on the product side. Here you can see electrons on the reactant side. Right? You see both. Goli. Just see, there is in this case gain of electron. In this case, loss of electron. This is loss of electron. This is characterized by loss of electron. It's like we are taking loan, and if we are taking loan and we are depositing our money, so both are different. In the bank, if you are taking money, right, or you are depositing money, it's these are, you can segregate these reaction like that only. In this case, if you see, electrons are coming out of the atom. In this case, electrons are taken by the atom. Plus 6 beta, very simple. You do not know for Mn, take it as X, oxygen -2, total charge -2. Solve it. If you solve it, then it will come as 6. Santosh? Fine, na? Okay. So moving to our next topic. So in that case, we have learned that if weight is given, we can calculate mole for anything. In this case, by using moles, and also in the previous case, by using moles, we were calculating molarity, right? Molarity was nothing but M. Now using moles, we can also calculate another thing is equivalent. And using this equivalent, we will be calculating normality. So this is our goal, that we need to calculate normality. It is denoted by capital N. This is denoted by capital M. Right? So I am just writing the formulas. That equivalents are nothing but mole into N factor or valency factor. I will explain everything. Just writing it. Or you can write mole into N factor. Valency and N factor both are same thing. How do we calculate valency factor, N factor? We will learn. So these are equivalents. EQ. Similarly, we can also calculate normality. So normality is nothing but molarity. Okay, molarity into valency factor, into N factor or valency factor. Both are same thing. Then we will also learn one more formula, that is equivalent weight. Equivalent weight. Similar to molar mass, molar weight, that is molar mass divided by N factor. These formulas we will cover. Right? This is something new for us. Normality, equivalent, mole. Mole we already know, molarity we also know. But using this mole, we will be calculating equivalent and then normality. Right? So how to calculate, how to define equivalent weight? First is how to define equivalent weight. Method 1 for equivalent weight. For calculation of equivalent weight. Calculation of equivalent weight. What do we understand by equivalent weight? See, it is equivalent weight is something which is defined with respect to some other thing. So if you see, in chemistry, it is defined as, if you take any element, okay, if you take any element, so amount of any element which is required to react with 1 gram of hydrogen, okay, 1 gram of hydrogen, 8 gram of oxygen, and 35.5 gram of chlorine. So anything, let's say magnesium, if you take magnesium, if we see 12 gram of magnesium is required to react with 1 gram of hydrogen, 8 gram of oxygen, and 35.5 gram of chlorine. So the 12 gram of magnesium becomes equivalent weight of magnesium. I will write each and everything. Again, I will explain it. Magnesium, if you take 12 gram of magnesium, it is going to react with 1 gram of hydrogen, 8 gram of oxygen, and 35.5 gram of chlorine. So this weight, okay, the weight which can react with 1 gram of hydrogen, 8 gram of oxygen, and 35.5 gram of chlorine. That is known as equivalent weight. So I am writing part of any atom or element, or amount of any element which reacts, which is present in, which reacts with with 1.008 gram of hydrogen, 8 gram of 8 gram of oxygen, 35.5 gram of chlorine, right, in its hydride, oxide and chloride respectively. Right. Okay. I'll talk louder. Okay, so something, any amount of element which reacts with 1.008 gram of hydrogen in its hydride, 8 gram of oxygen in its oxide, and 35.5 gram of chlorine in its chloride, right? Then I have already told you what is hydride and what is chloride. If in compound, any compound, hydrogen is present in -1, then that is known as hydride. Oxygen present in -2, that is known as oxide. Or any halogen present in -1, that is known as halide. S-2, N-3, carbon -4. Something present in its minimum oxidation state. Then we will put suffix as IDE. If you see, hydrogen -1, minimum, oxygen minimum, everything which is in its minimum oxidation state, minimum oxidation number, put a suffix like IDE, right? This is suffix. Yeah, good morning, Shai Tharun. This is suffix which is required. So sulfur will be written as sulfide. Nitrogen will be written as nitride. Carbon will be written as carbide, right? Then there are some other which this is azide, I have already told you, and this is cyanide, right? So in this case, if you see, whenever hydrogen is present in -1, then only we will call it hydride. Oxygen in -2. This is important. Oxygen is in -2, then it will be known as oxide. Chlorine in -1. Okay. Did you get it? I will illustrate it with examples. Also, one more thing. Hydrogen, it has 2 gram per mole, right? Oxygen, but if hydrogen is there, then 1 gram. But if oxygen, if you take oxygen, then that is 32 gram. Weight is 32 gram. If you take one oxygen atom, then that will be 16. Similarly for chlorine, that is 71. If you take only one chlorine, that is 35.5. Okay. Again, I am repeating. Hydrogen 2 gram, oxygen gas 32, chlorine 71, right? If you take hydrogen, then that is 1 gram. Oxygen 16. This is 16. One oxygen atom. Chlorine 35.5 unit, right? Now I am taking some examples. If we want to figure out the equivalent weight of sodium, magnesium, and aluminum, let us take their hydride. This is its hydride. This is hydride of magnesium, and this is hydride of aluminum. If you see, if you want to find out the equivalent weight of sodium, you see in this compound, hydrogen is 1 gram, sodium is 23. This is required. How much amount of any element is present per 1 gram of hydrogen? So you see it is 23. So equivalent weight of Na will become 23. What about magnesium? If you see, for magnesium it is 2, right? Hydrogen 2 gram and it is 24. So per gram 12. So equivalent weight of magnesium is nothing but 12. We need to calculate per gram of hydrogen. How much element is present per gram of hydrogen? So for 2 gram it was 24. Now for 1 gram it becomes 12. 3. It is 3 gram and it is 27. So it becomes 1. Per 1 gram it will be 9. So equivalent weight of aluminum is nothing but 9. Any doubt? Please respond quickly. It's a very important concept. Very important concept, and you have to be expert in this. This is chemistry. Beta, you need to take per any element, if you want to calculate, take its hydride. Okay, with the experience you will be know, you will understand what is the hydride of any element, right? We know that, I have already told you, with the oxidation number you can find out any element is given. Metal, let's say metal is given and hydrogen is given. You want to calculate its hydride. What will you do? You know its oxidation number. Let's say its oxidation number is X. Hydrogen, you know, with the metal it will be -1. This is the formula of any hydride. That is MXH. This is the formula of any hydride, right? Sorry. MHX. Right? You know the oxidation number of metal. I have already told you the oxidation number of metal. For alkali metal it is +1, alkaline earth metal it is +2. So considering that, if you want to find out the hydride of calcium, what will be its hydride for calcium? We have already told you that it is alkaline earth metal 2, it is 1, crisscross, so its formula will be calcium H2. Now you want to figure out the equivalent weight. You see 2 gram, calcium has 40, molar mass of calcium is 40. So for per gram it is 20. So this is its equivalent weight. The equivalent weight of calcium becomes 20. Did you get it, Vani? Yes. So to calculate the, yes, okay. Now we can also calculate by using oxygen, but you remember that oxygen should be present in its oxide. So you have to understand, you have to know, you have to have the knowledge of oxidation number. Then only you will be able to predict the oxides. For example, I want to write the oxide of sodium. It will be written as Na2O. For Mg, MgO. For aluminum, it is Al2O3. I am again explaining for aluminum. Aluminum belongs to boron family and it is a metal. So it will show 3 oxidation state. Aluminum will be present in +3. Okay, always +3. It will not show any other oxidation state for aluminum. Oxygen -2. I have already told you it should be in oxide crisscross method. So you can find out the aluminum. Now you need to find out the, again, equivalent weight. Here if you see, oxygen is 16 gram, but sodium is 23 into 2. For oxygen, our measurement, our method, our reference changes to 8 gram per 8 gram. So for per 8 gram, it should be 23. Again, mass of equivalent weight of sodium becomes 23. MgO again 16. This is 24. So we need to calculate per 8 gram. So it becomes 12. Again, its weight of equivalent weight of Mg becomes 12. Here if you see, this is 48. 16 into 3 is 48. This is nothing but 54 aluminum. We need to calculate per 8 gram. That is, you need to divide by 6. So it becomes equivalent weight of aluminum becomes 9. Is that okay? So calculate, question is given, calculate equivalent weight of calcium in its hydride, using its hydride. Its oxide, okay, using its oxide. Okay, predict for me. Yes, that is right. That is right. Yes. Okay. So for that, you need to first identify its oxide. So calcium, oxygen, and you know that calcium. Again, I will give you some good examples. No, Sri Nithya beta, you check it again. Calcium, its oxidation number is 2. It's -2. So it is Ca2O2, or you can write CaO. If it is written as CO, mass of calcium is 40 and it is 16. So per 8, it should be 20. So equivalent weight of calcium becomes 20. Any element can have more than one oxides. There can be more than one oxide. For example, NO. I am taking this example, MnO, Mn2O3. Okay. So in this case, equivalent weight of Mn will be different than this. Right? Mn, if you find out the weight of Mn, it is around 55. Right? Manganese. Just a second. It is 55 beta. No. S1, it is, yeah, metal, yes beta, yes. You can say in our syllabus, we will always consider that metal will be having plus. Right? Generally, 99.9% cases, in at least in our cases, they will be having positive at 11th and 12th class. You will find out some examples in the 12th when we will be studying coordination chemistry. In that case, we will find out that somewhere there will be elements which will be having negative oxidation number as well. Okay, rarely we will see that. In our till now in ninth, sorry, in 11th or in mole concept or in this topics, we will be seeing that metal will always be having positive. Fine. So you see, in this case, if you see, if you want to calculate, oxygen is 16, it is 55. So for 8, it should be 55 by 2. So if you see, it is 55 by 2. Equivalent weight of manganese is 55 by 2. Here, if you see, in this case, if you want to calculate, it is 16 into 3, and this is 55 into 2. So this should be 55 into 2 by 6. So if you see, this is 55 by 3. So if you see, if you observe, then it is nothing, equivalent weight is nothing but molar mass divided by some number, and that number is something. If you see, equivalent weight is nothing but it is molar mass divided by some number, some particular number. And if you see in this case, it is nothing but charge present on Mn. In this case, charge presenting on Mn. Right? But you need to identify that this should be oxide. It should be oxide, right? If it is not oxide, then that will not give us the right answer. For example, if they ask you Na2O2, find out the equivalent weight of sodium. So someone can try like this. Oxygen is having 16 into 2. Here it is 2 into 23. It is 8. So this should be 23 by 2. 23 by 2. That is not right, beta, because this is not oxide, not an oxide. If you know, it is peroxide. So in the definition itself, it is said it should be oxide. This should be oxide. For hydrogen, the compound should be hydride. For chloride, it should be chloride. Then you have to solve it. So it should be oxide, right? You know that sodium is always having +1. So in this case, if you see, oxygen is having, per oxygen it is -1 charge, and we are talking about oxide. So did you get it? I will take example regarding chloride as well. So this is one method, and this is the basic method to just explain, to have a feel that what is the equivalent weight. Yes, very clear. Okay, if it is clear, then solve this question better. If metal oxide of M is having 40% of oxygen, calculate equivalent weight of M. This is a very good question. Please solve it. Are you guys following the notes on the daily basis? You should try to read the notes on daily basis or before the class. Yes, give me the answer then. No beta, you are Yashwant. No beta. We need to find out weight of metal per 8 gram of oxygen. This is the hint. You need to find out the weight of metal per 8 gram of oxygen in any oxide. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah. Yes. Someone has given right answer. Sana, absolutely right. Very good. It's a very good question. So see, they have given you some oxide. Let's say M and O. Let's say it is sorry. Let's oxygen is always having -2 and it is, let's say it's having X. So you can write it like this, M2OX. But it says that it is 40% of oxygen is present in it. 40% of oxygen is present in it. So you can assume that total weight is 100. If total weight is 100, oxygen is 40 and it should be 60. It should be 60. Metal should be 60. And I have told you that in oxide, we need to calculate the weight of metal per 8 gram of oxygen. So for 40 it is 60. For 8 gram it should be 12. So here equivalent weight of metal is nothing but 12. It's a question which has been asked previously. It's a question which has been asked. Okay. So you should know that how to solve this kind of questions as well. Sana, I have got only one response right. That is from Sana. Okay, fine. Fine. So this was about oxide and hydride. Similarly, we can also do for chloride. If something is given NaCl, MgCl2, AlCl3, you can easily find out, but it should be chloride, right? In NaCl, if you see, it is 35.5. Sodium is 23. Already the weight of sodium becomes 23. In this case, it is 71. Chlorine is present 71. It is 24. So if you want to calculate, then that is 12. Very trivial. It is 35.5 into 3. And its weight is 27. So you need to calculate 9. So as I have told you in this example, that you are dividing your mass with certain number. You are dividing with certain number. And that certain number is known as n factor only. Right? So if we are having knowledge of n factor, then also we can calculate. Because every time we will not be given with the oxide, hydride or chloride. If some other compound is given, let's say it is given KMnO4. Now what will you do? It is salt. It's not oxide or something chloride or hydride. Okay. If something else is given like this thing, KFeCN6, low. This doesn't contain even neither oxygen nor hydrogen nor chlorine. Now how will you calculate the equivalent weight of this salt? Did you get my point? If something is not given as hydrogen, oxide or chloride, then how will you calculate the oxidation, the equivalent weight? Right? So we have already, with the illustrations, we have seen that equivalent weight is nothing but molar mass divided by some certain factor. That factor, if we find out any method to calculate that factor, right? This factor, then we can easily find out equivalent weight for anything. Is it okay? And we have also seen that equivalent weight of any element is not fixed. It can depend upon compound or on reaction. Right? If you see, equivalent weight for Mn is 55.2 and here 55.3. So equivalent weight of any element is not fixed. It depends upon the reaction or the compound. Okay, so I am also writing this. Molar mass is constant. Molar mass for anything is constant. That is fixed. But equivalent weight of any element depends upon compound composition okay. So E, it is not necessary that E is always having constant value. It is not necessary that E is having constant value, right? Fixed value. Molar mass will be having fixed value, right? So it depends upon the reaction or depends upon the compound as well, right? So what is the another method? How we will calculate another method? So that is important. Method 2. Just focus, beta. You are developing your sense for chemistry. Method B. In this case, we will understand if reaction is given, if some compound is given, right? There might be that they are asking a single compound and reaction is not given. Okay, so we need to identify whether the compound is okay. If something is given in a reaction, then there is different way to identify. Okay, but if reaction is not given, then how we will identify? First thing is, I am writing it. Equivalent weight is nothing but molar mass by valency factor, n factor. So we are trying to calculate n factor. If we are able to find out n factor, calculation for n factor, calculation or estimation of n factor of n factor, right? It's a very important concept. You are going to use it in thermodynamics, right? Even sometimes in ionic equilibrium, then in electrochemistry. Okay, so it will be used again and again. So first thing is for acids. For acids, acids are generally represented as acids are those compound which liberate are those compound which provide or furnish H plus ion or hydronium ion on dissolving into water. There are other definitions as well, right? But for the basic, we are just having this, right? That acids are those compound which furnish H plus ion on dissolving into water. So for acids, we can understand as valency factor is nothing but number of H plus, number of replaceable H plus. How many H plus can be replaced? That is the acids. That is the n factor for any acid. Okay, I am giving you some examples. HCl, HBr, HI, HNO3, HClO4, CH3COOH, HCOOH, HCN, right, H3PO2, and there is HF. In all these acids, these acid are termed as monobasic acid. It means they are kind of HA. Monobasic acid means HA means they will provide only one H plus while you dissolve it into water. They will provide only one. They are having only one single H plus, replaceable H plus. It is looking, we can see that there are 3 hydrogen here, but these 3 are not replaceable. You cannot replace them. You cannot replace them. They are attached with carbon. Generally, hydrogen which are attached to electronegative atoms, H which are attached to electronegative atoms, they are replaceable. So this hydrogen is replaceable. Again, this is replaceable. And in this case, H3PO2, I will give you the structure. So if you see in H3PO2, only this hydrogen is attached to electronegative atom. Because what happens, I will tell you one very important thing. In chemistry, ions are not stable. In chemistry, ions are not stable. If somewhere ions are forming, then it means they are not stable. They require some extra thing to get stabilized, right? So if ions are forming A minus, then it should have capability to hold this minus charge. It is an ion. It should have capability to hold negative charge, right? So electronegative atom has capability to hold the negative charge. That is why at hydrogen attached with the electronegative atoms are generally they are replaceable. Okay, so you can remember this topic. H3PO2 also. Generally we confuse that there are 3 hydrogen, so it should provide 3 H plus. No, this will not provide 3 H plus because only one hydrogen is present with the oxygen. So it is monobasic acid, right? It is monobasic acid. It will provide only one H plus. What are dibasic acid? So if monobasic acids are given, then valency factor for monobasic acid for HA is 1. Valency factor. So I can say that N factor for these things are nothing but 1. It is 1, right? The N factor is 1. If any acid of this kind of is given in any reaction, in acid-base reaction, then they will show N factor of 1. Okay, fine. Next, dibasic acid. They are asking you dibasic acid. They are represented like this, H2A. They will dissociate like this. H plus are removed consecutively. Okay, they are not removed simultaneously. First, one H plus is lost, replaced, then another H plus is replaced. So we can write like this: 2H plus A minus 2. So any dibasic acid can show N factor as 1 as well as 2. If in any reaction it is losing its both H plus, if it is reacting with its both, if it is using its both H plus, then its N factor will become 2. And if it is using only one H plus, one acid, one H plus, then its N factor will remain 1 only. Examples are H2SO4, H2S, H3PO3. These are some good examples. These are dibasic acid. Okay, these are dibasic. These are dibasic. Their valency factor can be 1 or 2, right? Their valency factor can be 1 or 2. H3PO2, PO3 I will again explain. So you see only 2 hydrogens are replaceable. These 2 hydrogens are replaceable, only these 2. So you need to focus on these things. right? Okay, fine. Then tribasic acid. Tribasic acid. H3A. So similar to previous H3A, H plus and H2A minus. H2A minus can give H plus and HA minus 2. And this HA minus 2 again, H plus and A minus 3. You see, this HA minus 2 can provide H plus or can also gain H plus and return into this. So this HA minus 2 has both capability. It can either accept hydrogen or it can lose the hydrogen. Someone which is having negative charge, right? It can always gain the hydrogen. It has ability to gain the hydrogen. At the same time as it is tribasic acid, it can lose extra electron, extra hydrogen. So this is nothing but H3A, 3H plus, A minus 3. For our case, we are having one good example, that is H3PO4. This is the tribasic acid. Tribasic acid. Structure is nothing but all the hydrogen are attached with oxygen, right? So I am writing one note. Generally, hydrogen attached to electronegative atom. Hydrogen attached to oxygen, right? Or any other electronegative atom are replaceable, right? So if hydrogen are attached to oxygen or electronegative atom like fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, sulfur, like this, nitrogen also, these are some electronegative atoms. So if they are attached to fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, or with the oxygen directly attached beta, directly attached, they should be directly. I have written the spelling replaceable. Did you get it? Did you get it? Just tell me, quickly tell me. This is some introduction beta. This is just some basic foundation of the chemistry. Yes. So slowly and gradually you will understand the different kind of acids, right? So okay, fine. Now it's the turn of base. On the similar lines, base. Compounds which furnish OH minus on dissolving into water. Right? If you dissolve something into water, then they will furnish OH minus, right? So similarly, the way we have categorized different acid into with the valency factor as 1, 2, and 3, these can also be identified as alkali metal base, alkali metal hydroxides, like NaOH, KOH, RbOH, right? CSOH, all these. If you see, if you take MOH, you can write like this: MOH, M plus and OH minus. So their valency factor will become 1, right? There are other on this line are NH4OH. If you take this, then NH4OH also on OH minus. So this is also having valency factor as 1. right? Ammonium hydroxide. This is known as ammonium hydroxide. Hydroxide. But the alkaline earth metal hydroxides, alkaline earth metal hydroxides like BOH का whole twice, MgOH का whole twice, calcium hydroxide, strontium hydroxide, right? Alkaline earth metal, hydroxide. These are like this, MOH का whole twice, and they will provide 2OH minus. That wise they will be having valency factor as barium hydroxide. These all will be having valency factor as 2. They can have 1 or 2, right? They can have 1 or 2. Similarly, aluminum hydroxide, it will be having valency factor as 3, right? It can break into, it can give 3 hydroxide ion, right? So this is how we can get something is given, so you can easily predict that the valency factor of base. Generally, we will be using NaOH, KOH, NH4OH. This is also important, NH4OH. Then there are some other also, pyridine and some other also, but we will learn them in the next class, right? Okay, fine. So this we have already calculated. Now in acid base reaction, if you know acid base reaction, if reaction is given, then what will you do? In the reaction, what happens? Acid reacts with base and it provides salt plus H2O, right? So if you see, if reaction is given like this, sodium carbonate on reaction with H2SO4, it becomes NaHSO4 plus sodium bicarbonate, like this. So in this case, if you see, only one hydrogen is utilized, one hydrogen is remaining. So in this case, valency factor or the equivalent weight of H2SO4 will remain 96, 98 by 1, because it has used only one. Valency factor of H2SO4 here is nothing but valency factor of H2SO4 is 1, because it has used only its one hydrogen, right? For this case, NaOH plus H2SO4, if it is given like this, Na2SO4 plus 2H2O, then in this case, if you see, it is utilizing its both hydrogen, so its equivalent weight will become 98 by 2. Here its valency factor is nothing but valency factor H2SO4 is 2. So it depends, if it is utilizing its both, then its valency factor will be 2. Did you get it? Did you get it? Yes, great. Okay, in acid base reaction, you need to identify one more thing, is that in acid base reaction, there will be no change in oxidation number. I have already explained you, there are reactions in which oxidation number change is taking place. In acid base reaction, no change in oxidation number, of any species. These reaction comes under non-redox reaction. These are non-redox reaction. You remember this. I am telling this with the purpose. Acid can also behave as oxidizing agent and reducing agent, that I have already told you. Okay, and acid can also behave as, right? So those reaction will be studied under the redox reaction. But here if you see, there is no change in oxidation number. Here also there is no change in oxidation number. So acid base reactions are defined under the non-redox reaction. So in those cases, there should not be change in oxidation number, right? Okay, moving to next, that is salt, right? First is salt. If salt is given, no reaction is taking place. No reaction is taking place. Very simple, beta. Valency factor is nothing but total charge present on all cation. Present on all cations. All cations or anions. Okay. So I am taking some good examples. Let's say NaCl, MgCl2, Al2SO4 whole thrice, Mg3PO4 whole twice. Okay, then something else can be given. So in this case, if you see, then valency factor will be equal to the charge on cation, that is there is only one cation or charge is 1, so it will be 1 only. In this case, valency factor of MgCl2 will be there is only one cation into 2, that is 2. In this case, valency factor will be aluminum, there are 2 aluminum and charge on every aluminum is 3, so the valency factor is 6. In this case, valency factor will be there are 3 cations, 3 Mg and charge is 2, so this is also 6. If it is given like this, K4 FeCN6, right? So in this case, if it is asking, okay, no, right now we will not do this question. So did you get this, beta? Did you get this? Did you get this? If reaction is not taking place, how will you calculate this valency factor? Did you get this? Quickly, I will take 3-4 minutes more. Very important things. Please tell me, did you get this? Yes, yes. If reaction is taking place. So this was our first case, B, salt. Reaction is taking place. Right. For example, KMnO4, it is a salt in a reaction H2O2. If it gives Mn+2 and it provides O2, right? And someone wants to ask the oxidation number of this thing. So in this case is nothing but valency factor is nothing but change in oxidation number per molecule. So if you say here it is +7, that is +2, so change in oxidation number is nothing but 7 - 2, that is 5. So valency factor of KMnO4 in this case is 5, and its equivalent weight is nothing but molar mass by 5. This is how we calculate. This is how we calculate, beta. Right? If it is given like this, K2Cr2O7, it is converted into Cr+3 in acidic medium. So just see, it is +6 and getting converted into +3. So its valency factor will be change in oxidation number per molecule. So change in oxidation number is nothing but 2 into 6 - 3, because there are two potassium, 2 chromium ion. So it becomes 6. So its equivalent weight will be molar mass divided by 6. This is how you have to calculate, right? And this is I think this is sufficient for today. We will do some good examples in the next class. You revise all the notes, whatever we are covering till now, okay? That will be asked in the paper. So you should have good practice of balancing the reaction, good knowledge of oxidation number, right? And then that's easy, very easy. Okay, fine. I will be sharing it. Thank you so much and all the very best for tomorrow's test. Thank you guys. I will share this. Yes, beta. I will share it right now.